We would like to thank our sponsors, Getaway Today. Use Getaway Today for all of your vacation planning needs. You'll get exclusive perks, great discounts, and the best customer service. Most importantly, their services are always free and easy, from experienced and passionate agents who love to make your vacation dreams come true. Head on over to getawaytoday.com from the link in our show notes to see their exclusive deals, and you can call 855-GET-AWAY and let them know Walt's Apartment sent you to start planning your next vacation today.
There was an idea. The idea was to bring together a group of remarkable people, see if they could become something more.
I have an army.
We have a Hulk.
This is the Marvel Tribe, brought to you by Walt's Apartment Podcast and the DisInsider.
Avengers!
Assemble.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the Marvel Tribe. We're a group of excited and passionate individuals who have come together to share our love of all things Marvel. We are brought to you by Walt's Apartment Podcast and DisInsider.com. My name is Shawn, and I'm joined by an amazing group of people. We have Samantha, Chris, David, and Bill joining us here tonight. From the big screen to the small print, feel the pulse in your chest so you know you're alive. One team, one love. It's the Marvel Tribe.
Woo.
Woo. How are we all doing tonight?
Excited.
I am good.
Awesome. We are joined by our astute, whatever the word is, panel of specialists and experts in the Marvel world, except me. We have Samantha. How are you doing tonight?
I'm good. I'm really excited. We started to kind of ramble a little bit before this and had to stop ourselves because we were so excited.
Yeah,
we were excited.
We forgot we weren't recording, and David was just going off on the thing. We're like, no, stop. Chris, how you doing tonight? Disney Done Differently, Airbnb podcast. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great, and thank you again for having me here. And again, Friday the episode came out, and I felt better. A calming came over me because I now know that I have people that I can talk to.
Absolutely, David. How you doing tonight, buddy?
I'm both astute and esteemed. Is that what you said?
I don't know what I said, but whatever.
I'm good. I'm eager to get into this episode. So
perfect. And the one and only Mr. Bill from Mr. Bill. See that? From Airbnb podcast. How you doing, buddy? You're muted.
You're mute.
Unmute.
I said, I am good, sir. How are you tonight?
Not too bad. I golfed this morning in 28-degree weather, so that was fun. It was very cold.
Did you do 9 or 18?
Just 9, because we didn't even. Okay, I'm gonna tell you a story, and David probably knows about this. You know where Bear Creek Golf Course is, David?
Yeah.
Okay, so the 8th hole goes right along a group of a whole apartment complex. So,
oh no.
So the 9th hole, my son, Zach, who's gonna be 18 on Thursday. You know Zach, the unpaid intern. Takes his shot and he just shanks it left, and all you hear is dunk, dink, dunk, 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 like a ping pong ball going through this apartment complex. So we all picked up our golf bags and just left. We were just
you didn't hear the sound of breaking glass.
We did not, and it sounded like a roof or the hood of a car, but then it was just like bouncing all over this parking lot. But it was fun. It was very, very cold, but we have a great show. A lot of stuff to talk about. I want to give a real quick plug next week for the finale of WandaVision. We will be doing a live stream next Sunday night at 7 p.m. Pacific time, 10 p.m. Chris and Bill's time, and 9 p.m. Sam's time. So make sure you're all there. And we also are going to have Brian Lee from United We Fam podcast, who is part of the Marvel Monday for this Diz Life as well. But he's going to join us for the live stream. We're going to just break down everything. And I need to make sure that Mephisto is somehow involved, because I do have a $70 bet with Zach that it's Mephisto is somehow behind this. So root for me for that at least. So yeah.
Good luck, bud.
I know, right?
Wow.
It's getting worse and worse. And I think Zach took me for $70. I don't know why it was $70, but that's what he picked. So I mean, It's his birthday week, so I gave it to him. So I'll stop rambling. Sam, would you like to get into the recap of the show, or does anyone else have anything they want to talk about Marvel before we get into that?
Nope. Great show.
No.
Let's do this.
All right. So episode starts with Wanda is in Agatha's dungeon, and she's got her tied up with her magic, and she is asking how Wanda has done all of these things. She's kind of showing off her own magic and saying, what, Bill?
It actually started with the purple Marvel Studios logo, which I thought was an incredible touch.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yep, because Agatha's magic is purple.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And then it started with the Salem in Salem.
Oh, you're right. I did. I skipped that. Thanks, Bill. So it started with Agatha. We know that from the comics that she was supposed to be hung in the Salem witch trials, and she wasn't. She kind of escaped somehow. So we got to see that a little bit, but there was a twist on it. It was actually her coven trying to get rid of her because she was bending the laws of magic and she was breaking their rules. So they all try to destroy her, and she absorbs their magic and kills them all. And then we go to the dungeon and she's showing Wanda all of her magic and how it takes all these years to learn all of these things. And then she's trying to figure out how Wanda did this hex, like how one witch can do all of these things. One magical being can do all of these things. And she starts walking Wanda through her memories after she feeds a bird to Mr. Scratchy, which was really gross, but I didn't know bunnies ate birds, so that makes me wonder more about Mr. Scratchy. She starts walking Wanda through her memories. The first memory is Wanda as a child watching sitcoms with her family, and that's when the bomb goes off in Sokovia and kind of destroys everything. We do get to see Wanda do something to kind of, I think Agatha called it a probability hex to basically stop the other bomb from going off. And then she's pulled out of that memory, and then they're walked right into her next memory where she is undergoing experimentation with the Infinity Stones, and she gets her powers kind of enhanced. And then her next memory is at the Avengers complex, and you see this incredibly touching conversation between her and Vision, and I just cried my eyes out. Basically, it's a conversation about grief and about missing Pietro, and she's just tired and she's kind of feisty, and like he's trying to bring her out of it. So he does. He brings her out of it, and they get to sit and be together there. And it kind of goes to show how important their relationship was to Wanda. And that's kind of when Agatha puts everything together and says, you lost your family, you lost your brother, you lost Vision, and now Vision wasn't here to put you back together, basically. So then we get to see what actually happened when Wanda went to the sword facility, and she didn't actually take Vision's body. Hayward had him on the table, and they were, sawing him apart and stuff. And she saw that. She touched his body. She said, he's not here. And she left, where she then found the deed to their home that Vision was going to have built in Westview. In the car, she drives to the lot. She basically loses it when she gets there, has a complete emotional breakdown. And that is when the hex is formed, and she creates her own Vision. So Agatha is realizing this is how all of this happened. And then we get to see her. She's basically holding the boys with like magical ropes around their necks, trying to get information out of Wanda. And she calls her the Scarlet Witch and says, this is chaos magic. And we can tell that Agatha really wants that chaos magic. And then the episode ends. We do get a post-credit scene where we get to see Hayward saying he's ready to launch his weapon. And what's the weapon, guys?
Oh, the White Knight shining armor there. White Vision.
We've got White Vision.
Spectral
Vision. From West Coast Avengers. So we've got a Hayward Vision now, and we have a WandaVision.
So we all agree that Hayward's a complete dick, right? So.
Oh yeah.
So I did have a moment when I was watching it where I was like, he's really smart to not give her his body. I was like, I wouldn't give her his body either. He's right. That's a lot of vibranium, and she's not emotionally stable, and he knows she has the power to bring him back. It's really good that he's not bringing it. And then I was like, no, he's not good. He's not good.
I want to know why, though, when she goes to the sword facility, he is very comfortable, though, around her.
Cocky, like almost cocky.
Yeah, he nothing bothered that she was in the office and that, too comfortable for me. He was very laid back.
Yeah.
Got to fake it to make it.
There's two things. So that was one, how comfortable he was around this incredibly powerful person. And two, there is nothing that indicates that she could bring someone back. But he spoke that with somewhat confidence about her and stuff. And so Hayward, again, he is a jerk, but I think he's also in disguise still. There's still something that will be revealed about him.
I had a theory about who he might have been.
Oh,
at this point, I thought about it after our talk tonight.
Mephisto?
No.
Damn.
No.
I need that money. Come on.
So we know that the Darkhold is in this world now. And we know that there is somebody who is in another dimension trying to get back to wherever the Darkhold is. And he can impersonate other people. So Chris, what is your name? What is your name on your screen say right now?
Well, all the years of reading it in the comic book, I pronounced it wrong until David came on. So David,
How do you pronounce?
I call it Kython.
That's what I thought. That's what I've heard was Kython.
No, that's how I've always read it. What is that?
It's Chthon.
Chthon. Okay, well,
his name.
All right. Well, I had that wrong from reading it all these times, but I think that it might be Chthon. I think he might be Chthon, and he possibly needed Wanda to create this hex so that the Darkholds could be brought into it. Maybe he knew Agatha had the Darkholds and knew that Agatha would chase this chaos magic. And now that he's in the same dimension as his Darkholds, he's going to try and reclaim it. And he has the white vision to do that.
Michael Jackson, I think, thinks it's Chthon too. That is what he's saying in all this.
Chthon.
So should we go back to the beginning of the episode and break down each section?
Oh yeah.
Sorry, I got ahead of myself with that.
It's fine. No, it's fine. Sam.
So I have to say that I love the Marvel intro, how it changed to purple.
Yeah.
It really kind of showed that we're gonna take this from a different side, and it's gonna be is Agatha all along and stuff. I do have to say now, while her magic is kind of purple, but when she took over her coven that tried to destroy her for using magic outside of her age and her station, which we can talk about, the magical crown and everything what the mom had and stuff. You see flecks of blue. It's almost like she's wielding two different sources. She's drawing from two different sources. There's the purple, and then there's blue. It's almost like Sam's shirt there. It's that kind of blended kind of purple blue and stuff. So
I took that to be the other witch's power versus her power. Was I looking at that wrong, do you think?
Well, okay, so no, because you saw the pure purple and the pure blue, and when they were attacking and draining her, she didn't. It almost like it kind of like defended her, and then she took over. But when she sucked that power, you saw it kind of mixed. It was weird. I may have been at the point of delusion rewatching stuff with the fine-tooth comb, but it really was like she was weaving both mixtures. It was like this mixture of power and stuff. And I saw that again when she had the ropes around the kid's neck, and plus her outfit was a dead giveaway. It's purple and dark blue and stuff too. So that's what. Go ahead.
It kind of looked like the mom when she was battling the mom's was blue and hers was purple, and they
mom was blue and hers was purple.
The purple took over obviously because she'd won that battle. So I get what Bill's saying there. It looked like both for sure. So I totally saw that too.
The great part about that, and like I said last week, we saw the origin of Photon, and now we're seeing the origin of Agatha Harkness.
Agatha,
yeah.
And you can't, I love the origins because, starting with comics, you're so far into the run already to find out how they actually started. So I love that part.
No, I agree, and yes, there was a clear delineation between the purple and the blues. I'm just saying after that event happened, that's where you kind of saw the mix of the magic. So her coven, absolutely all blue witchcraft, and even herself. But when she started diving into that's where that source of that purple magic, which I think we will be revealed. Who knows? It could be it might be Chthon's, but. That source is from a dark place and stuff, and so she's wielding both. Right, is kind of what I'm saying. So
basically, we have 3 Dark Lords left to work with. We have Chthon, Dormammu, and Mephisto. The reason that I'm going with Chthon right now is because of her emphasizing chaos. I thought Dormammu last week, but then as we talked about it more, I was like, no, it definitely makes more sense to be Chthon. Mm-hmm. But Chris, you had a really interesting theory about the woman who she called mom in that scene.
I just hope, I don't know if it was, just too much CGI and looking for Easter eggs. Is that actually becoming the crown on her mother? There really isn't a mother story from the Marvel universe for Agatha that I'm familiar with. I could be completely wrong on that, but and then it's, how do you dig in and see who has those powers? And the only reason Sam is very excited about that is because it would link back to the wars of Atlantis. And God, her name's escaping me right now. Sam, help me out. What's that name?
Stop it. Behave. Are you talking about? Wait. Okay. Hang on.
Dormu or Darmu?
No, not Dormammu. I can't. Oh, I don't remember her name now. Oh. Hang on. Let me look back in our chat.
Ariel?
No. Zeredna.
Zedna. Yes.
Is it Zeredna? Is that her name? Zedna?
I'm not.
I can't pronounce the comics.
Zendaya?
I'm getting my Marvel comic book audio read by David.
I read them phonetically. Because we haven't seen them. We haven't heard their names pronounced. So it's like, I don't know.
I think it's Zendaya.
Zendaya, no. Well, I haven't, shocker, I haven't read every comic story and stuff there are. I do try to stick as closely if there is source material to be referenced, because I love this and I get to rediscover my childhood, youth and stuff, and just kind of take another dive at my comic books and stuff. So I absolutely love this. I have not read all the comic books and stuff, but with that said, the crown thing, like they did change the origins from the comic books for Agatha and stuff. Obviously, in the Salem, the Salem witch trials, she was being burned at the stake by the commoners and stuff, and she was older before that even happened and stuff. I mean, they have her a whole millennia older, before Namor, the first mutant, and everything else. So they really did rework her origin stories for the big screen and stuff. But I do like the fact that there's 2 key features that I liked about this was the fact that the mom had the crown, what presumably looked like a magical crown. So her station is that she's the queen of this coven, and the fact that she stated plainly, you're practicing above your station, not only just just the dark arts, but you're not. It's almost like the ancient one. There's different levels and stuff. Like mortal was one level, but the ancient one was a different level of a sorcerer who was also had more access and was able to practice magic that mortal would not have. And so the mom who has the crown. I'm assuming, the daughter was, they were like, you're not ready for this level of magic, and you're messing with dark magic and stuff that's forbidden. So we obviously have to destroy you. But so I think that's why she would never get the crown. It wasn't like when she killed her mom and stuff.
So the connection that Chris and I were talking about with the crown was, okay, we don't know exactly how to pronounce her name. It could be Zredna or Zerdna, like we're not sure. But she is a protectress of white magic, much like Mordo. And she, like Chris said, around the sinking of Atlantis time. And when you see the image of her from the comics next to the image of the mother figure from that trial, the crowns absolutely look alike. So I thought it could be a possibility. But yeah, like you were saying, like Agatha doesn't really have. So instead of like the Salem witch trials happening and her escaping those, basically she escaped a trial from her coven in this episode. And they kind of rewrote where she doesn't she doesn't exactly have a parental figures in the comics, but this woman probably was more of a mother figure rather than like somebody who basically took her in and trained her instead of an actual mother.
Like the queen mom
Yeah, more adoptive, I would think of. So let's go to the next scene.
I have a quick question about that before we go on. Sorry. So, Chris, when this happens on Fridays, when this is all watched, me and David watch it early. Chris watches it early. Bill and Sam watch it later on in the evening. So we talk amongst ourselves in little side chats until everyone sees it before we all talk about it together. Chris had sent me a picture and put it, and it was of I believe it was the witch in the beginning and Hayward's like assistant. They look like they're the same person. And I think he's right, and I think that might play out somewhere. I don't know how, but it sure seems odd to me. It looks exactly like the same lady.
It does.
She was one of the witches, and she's also the one that Hayward's been talking to all the time about when he said launch. I just want to put that out there. So,
did we not touch on Agatha ripping the brooch off of her dead mother?
Oh, geez. No,
which was just kind of a cold-blooded touch that she dies and then just reaches down, pulls it off, and then wears it all the time. I thought that was.
I mean, we saw how savage she was. She sat there and she was like, "I can be good," and then the mother's like, "No, you can't."
Right,
and then she kills her.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's got no remorse whatsoever.
Not at all.
Her mom went after her first, didn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, she did. Yeah. But
no, you can't. Boom! I'm going to kill you. What else are you going to do in that situation? Just take it.
But it's kind of like what I'm saying about Wanda. What I've said about Wanda a few times. If she unlocks her Omega level powers, she cannot be allowed to exist.
Stop it.
So it's true. If Wanda has Omega level powers, she cannot be allowed to exist because one being that powerful could ruin everything in every dimension, basically. Like, it's too much. So if they felt like Agatha was going down that route and she was trying to possess all of these Omega level powers, then it is their obligation to kill her.
Okay, I have one more question before we move on. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Is it okay if I ask this question?
Yeah, ask.
Because I'm like ADD. If it comes, I have to do it when it comes. So I understand that, at the end of this one, Wanda gets her grief and she's overtaken and she becomes even more powerful, correct? At that point. So you're telling me she almost beat Thanos' ass, not even at her full power? Is she that strong?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Damn. That's why I like her. Okay. Carry on.
Here, to add on to the point for Sam, that's why she should be possibly destroyed, because we've seen this story. This is dead on a much more power-based story than that of Darth Vader and Anakin and stuff. When Yoda, all respect Master Yoda and all of these people who looked into this boy's future and we cannot train him. He is too old. He is Wanda. She can be seduced. That's where we are. Through her guilt and through her pain and all the things she gone through her life leaves her open to be corrupted. So because of that, to have someone that powerful with that much chaos magic at hand to be able to be seduced like that or to be corrupted, how do you sleep at night knowing, knowing she may have the wrong people around her and stuff at any given moment.
She's
so
emotionally unstable too.
Yep.
Well, her biggest weakness is that she's vulnerable and she doesn't have self-confidence. That's her biggest weakness, and everything else she just destroys everything.
And don't get me wrong, it's not her fault. She watched her parents get blown up to pieces. Her brother got slaughtered in the streets. The love of her life. I mean, it's not like, and I don't want to take the conversation like this is because she's a woman and emotional or nothing. Like, dude,
it's humanity. She's tied to her humanity.
Tragic
story. The human version of her is her weakness. Right. And all that tragedy is what makes her susceptible to that weakness.
So why we're going to see Doctor Strange this week, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
To try to calm her down, to try to rope her in.
Well, I mean, I think that if she's going to be trained, if it is possible, it's got to come from Doctor Strange. It can't come from Agatha. So. We're going to, she's in Doctor Strange in the multiverse of madness and all of that. But I think he shows up this week to recruit her or to get her under his wing to try to corral all of that power.
I honestly think that's going to be the last scene that we see. He's there and he's like, Wanda, let's go.
I agree with
you. The next part when I noticed that Agatha is extremely jealous of the power that Wanda possesses. And to me, out of the 8 episodes, that 7 minutes of Agatha like antagonizing Wanda in the dungeon, I thought was amazing. I think that scene for me brought the comics to life and was like, look at these 2 women just go at it.
Yeah, I mean,
but the writers are amazing because they dropped in where'd the accent go, and she's like, "Where's your accent?" And that's like something that we all talk about, right? It's like, well, she had it in this episode, she had it in that movie, now she doesn't. That was great.
So, did you guys? I just want to kind of just take a side. Did you guys see the Easter egg, the nod to Stan Lee again in this episode?
No, I missed it. Oh, I missed it.
Whoa. I caught some Easter eggs, but not Stan.
So it was another one on the license plate, and below the license plate it said Excelsior. So that was another little shout out and stuff to Stan Lee, and so I loved it. Most people, actually, the majority of the people missed it. And looks like Bill picked up on that. But yeah, that was a cool little Easter nod to the great late Stan Lee. So.
Love it.
I caught 2 major Easter eggs that I don't know if everybody caught it, but when Agatha throws the bird to the rabbit, right, Mr. Scratchy.
Mr. Scratchy.
Mm-hmm.
The book that's behind him, it has the Celtic tree on it, and the Celtic tree ties back to the ancient one that she's Celtic.
Yep.
So I could have been putting that together. And in my childhood, if you look at when she's watching the Brady Bunch and Cindy's playing with the doll, it's the same doll.
Vision practice changing the diaper on.
Yeah. Yep. Taking it back to what Chris said earlier about Agatha being jealous, I think we saw when she realized she was able to consume the power of other witches and absorb them, that made her chase magic and try and take it anywhere she can. Because she said that she made it clear that Agatha came there on her own will. Like, Wanda did not bring her to this hex. She felt the energy. She realized something big magical happened here, and she brought herself because she was chasing the magic. And so now she wants to know how Wanda did this so that she can figure out how she can do it. Because she's been practicing for all these years. So she wants the magic that Wanda has. I think ultimately we will see she's going to try and pull an attack out of Wanda and try and absorb the powers like she did with the coven. It's not going to happen that way because obviously they're not going to do that. But I think that's what Agatha's going to try and do.
I think there's definitely some fear there too, because she wouldn't. I think not that Agatha's noble or anything. I think she wouldn't be hiding behind the kids as much as she wasn't completely afraid of that level of power. Because she's right. She's never. I mean, that little demonstration, the fact that she's like, it takes years of practice to do a transformation spell. I mean, all of this stuff, like, it's almost like over the centuries of my existence, I would have heard of someone like you. And the fact that I see this hex where all of these magic spells are happening simultaneously, even out the furthest realms of the border and stuff. Like, oh my, what, and then she pieces it together at the end, which I love the fact that one, we've never heard the term chaos magic in the Marvel Universe on the big screen, and we've never heard the Scarlet Witch. So I love that we're just calling it out. This is what she is, and they make it as like this is the actual big, this is the big reveal. Like she is the Scarlet Witch, and we all knew it. I mean, even the people who are new to the Marvel, like the movie people, people kind of do some not so deep dives, like, yeah, Wanda Maximoff, she's a Scarlet Witch and stuff. But this is the first time it was actually mentioned. It was spoken into existence. So that was kind of cool. I think she's scared. I think that's why she's hiding behind those kids a little bit, because, Wanda's a beast. She does not play around. And so.
Do you guys want to talk about the first memory then?
Yes. That's the childhood one, right?
Yes.
So there's a couple things in that. One, I love the fact that they referenced the Dick Van Dyke Show, which obviously ties in and kind of sets the whole sitcom. And just so you guys know how much of a weird rabbit hole person I am, I actually watched that. I watched that episode after
you sent it to us. I watched it too. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually loved it. It was. I didn't even believe it was real, because it was like, this is really well written, and it's there's some interesting parallels between the Dick Van Dyke Show and what's going on here beyond just the intro and stuff. Mm-hmm. It was kind of interesting. So all you listeners out there, if you get a chance, it's on YouTube. You can find the Dick Van Dyke Show and you can watch it for free. That episode, it's the walnut. It's the walnut episode 20. But yeah, so a couple things I just see in that first episode. Mom, who greeted the daughter with the Sokovian greeting. She put her hands over her eyes and stuff. You remember that from the first episode with the heart and stuff, where she was trying to surprise Vision, end up putting her hands over Mr. Hart. So mom did that nice little greeting as well, even though it was still kind of a made up thing on the fly. So, but I thought that was kind of cool, and the fact that it really showed that outside the window is all this doom and gloom, and there's this war going on and everything, and inside the parents are doing their best to just this is our life and stuff, and really kind of highlight how poor they are. Like, people can be like, well, why would you ever live in that? The fact that when he opened the cases and the mom looked at him and she was like, I promise I will sell these tomorrow, showed their level of poverty and how they're stuck. So they're making the best of their situation and stuff. So I really love how that picture got painted.
Mm-hmm. It almost reminded me of The Boy in the Striped Pajamas, where the dad, they're in a concentration camp, and the dad is, talking to the kid about how to make it a game. And they're taking a completely awful situation that nobody should have to live in, and they're making it something different so that they can survive it emotionally.
Yep. I thought it was interesting that they only practice their English when they're watching on TV night. I thought that was interesting that, no, we only speak English on TV nights. I thought that was cool. That's,
Yeah.
Anyone else have thoughts on that scene?
We can talk about the kaboom and them being underneath the bed.
Was she using magic, or did it just not go off? I've seen both.
You saw her hand twitch. I saw her hand
did?
twitch.
I did not.
I saw the hand twitch.
I did not see that. Okay.
So it was like she was unsure, and then all of a sudden she twitched her hand, and she was sure.
So she was born a witch?
Yeah,
that's the way it seems.
That's the way it seems. That's the way they're going to. So, and she was born. She was kind of given the powers by Chthon in the comic books and stuff. That's where she.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Chthon. Yes, yes, Chthon did give her the powers in the comic books. Yeah. Oh, wow, but also, if we think of her like a mutant, we could say it's a gene, and the gene was there and it was kind of dormant, and maybe she used it a little bit, and then when she was playing around with the Infinity Stone, that kind of activated it more, or like brought it more to the surface and enlightened itself a bit.
Yeah.
That stuff blows my mind.
The reason I say she's a mutant is her brother, right? We wouldn't say that Quicksilver is a witch.
No, he would be a warlock, but yeah, that's I agree that that the mutant side of it, might be a little more accurate, and with them trying to introduce the X-Men, it would be a good way to do that. Sam, you just muted yourself.
Okay, let's talk about her kids. We've got Wiccan, who, we can say he's a warlock, but then she also has another kid who is not. So she has to have some kind of mutant gene that she passed on.
Right.
Yeah,
so I'm going to say she had a dormant mutant gene and she used it during that scene.
Yeah. I think that the elephant in the room is the fact that, yes, she is a mutant. I think Marvel is trying to kit glove, introduce the storyline of mutants where before they couldn't. I mean, just for those who don't know, mutants was exclusively a Fox property and stuff, and they would say enhanced humans or other terminologies that they would invent and stuff to get past that. But we're at the point that Marvel owns it all. Why mince world? Just say you're a mutant with the mutant genes. But I think they want to introduce that, reveal a little bit more. But we are going to circle back and say yes, Wanda is a mutant. Her brother is a mutant. Her children remain to be seen. So
her children are half mutant, half demon.
Spawns of demons. Yeah.
Spawns of demons from hell.
She's a witch.
Her kids honestly aren't that smart. They should have just stepped backwards when that rope was around their neck, and they would have been fine. But I'm just saying.
You do realize their feet were lifted off the ground, right?
They were on their tippy toes.
They were on their tippy toes. She was pulling them up.
I think they could have stepped backwards. I'm just saying. Come on.
The apple doesn't fall far from the tree, maybe, Shawn. What about that?
What is that supposed to mean?
It may mean that maybe Wanda's not that smart either.
Oh.
I mean, they're definitely not Vision's kids then, because Vision would have been smart enough to figure that out.
Right. Well, Vision isn't even alive, so what the hell's going on here? I'm so damn confused.
But is he? Are the boys knows? Okay, so here's my next question. Are the boys real?
Yes.
No, my vote.
No. My vote is no.
So we've got a fake Vision inside the Hex. We've got fake kids inside of the Hex. We've got so basically the only thing that is real inside of the Hex are the people that are trapped, Agatha and Wanda, and
the
pizza delivery mailman.
Right.
I will go ahead and say I think that the kids are going to be real. I think they will survive outside of the Hex.
I think Doctor Strange. I'm going to put my money on Doctor Strange has something to do with that.
My crazy theory is that she's lost Vision many times now, right? She did it, Thanos, the whole thing. I think losing the kids is what puts her over the edge, finding out that they're not real, and that becomes Scarlet Witch. That's the top, because she's accepted losing Vision multiple times already.
Right. So since we're talking about kids, I do need to do something really quick or I'm going to get in trouble. My son keeps texting me to shout him out. So can you all say hi to Brady real quick?
Hi, Brady.
There you go.
Happy
all
birthday
right.
later this week, Brady.
No. That's my older son, Brady.
Whenever your birthday is, Brady.
Yeah, his isn't another month, but he said, shout me out or I'm coming up there because he's downstairs right now. So
what up, Brady?
Yeah.
All right.
Hi to Brady, but how's he going to know if we did shout him out or not? Because this isn't live.
No, he's probably our biggest listener. Honestly, he listens to everything.
He's at the door right now listening.
He might be actually. So, okay, carry on. Sorry, kids. They should have backed up.
Well,
Go
speaking
on.
of kids and being able to just step backwards, it was shared with a video today that.
Oh, do you have Haley's video?
Yeah, we might as well just go into it now. Let's get Haley, the 4-year-old's response. Almost
She's
5.
only
right?
4 for 1 week. Yeah,
That's right.
She'll be 5 next week.
But she's
Almost
not a
right.
baby.
She's
not a baby.
She's not a baby.
And we're gonna find out. You ready? Here's Haley's thoughts on this last episode.
What happened on this week's WandaVision?
You went through Wanda's memories.
And what did she create?
The hex.
And who did she create? Did she make her own vision?
Yeah.
And is that vision the same as Director Hayward's vision or different?
Different.
Okay, so what was Agatha doing at the end of the show?
She was grabbing the kids' necks.
What do you think she's trying to do? What does she want Wanda to do?
I don't know.
What do you think Wanda's going to do? Is she going to fight for her babies?
They're kids.
Oh, is she going to fight for her kids?
I think.
They are kids. Get it correct.
Come on, Mom. Let's go.
Oh, you guys at home couldn't see the sass on my child's face when I called them babies. She was very offended. But I went on to explain, I don't care how old you are. You're always mama's baby.
Right.
But yes, she was very frustrated when she saw the kids trapped. She was excited that the kids were alive, but she was very frustrated to see them tied up there.
See, I do think that they are not. So I think they're going to be both. They're not real, but there will be something that will allow them to become real.
Maybe it's a spell from the Darkhold.
I think Doctor Strange will be the one who plays a part in that. That's all I can say. I can speculate a million different ways, but that's all that is. But I think my two things are the kids are not real now. It will be later, and it will be due to Doctor Strange.
Wow. But they have to be because of the Young Avengers, right? So they are part of that. So
yeah, but if they did die, they could reintroduce them somehow.
Yeah, and they don't have to be. Marvel does. They don't follow. We don't have all the Avengers, from the comic books.
Right.
Right.
I know. I have that book now, man. Geez, there's a lot.
There's some missing pieces in that book too. So.
There are. Yeah.
But it's a great starter.
Second memory.
This is gonna be a long show. That's fine. Second memory. Let's go.
Second memory, we have.
Where are we at?
We're at Hydra, right? Is that Hydra?
Avengers Complex.
Avenger Compound, yeah.
That's the third memory, isn't it?
That's the third one.
Oh, what's the second? Oh, the second. She's with Von Strucker, right?
Yes.
Yep. Is that Hydra?
Yes.
Okay.
Is it AIM? Is it Hydra or AIM?
Hydra. Let me have this one. It's Hydra.
You were right. You were right. It's Hydra.
The Hydra thing on the door as they go in.
The octopi thing.
So they're bringing in these test subjects to touch the Spectre, and they've had no success with it so far. They all die when they come in contact with it, and so we see a young, de-aged Wanda. Walking in her, her classic, drops that she was wearing in Age of Ultron. And we see the Spectre come to life, and it, the Mind Stone kind of comes out and just meets her, and she reaches out and touches it, and we get to see this really, really cool foreshadowing of the Scarlet Witch.
Yep.
In the Scarlet Witchy kind of outfit. Like, this is not the Halloween outfit we saw. I swear, I paused and I tried to enhance this image. This is a really dope new looking outfit. Yeah. I hope we get to see. So, but we got to saw the Scarlet Witch because there absolutely was Olsen in that very faded out, and she it blasted her with this amazing energy from the Mind Stone, and then she passed out, and none of that was caught on video. Yeah, kind of like the when Wanda erases things from us to see.
Yep.
It was the same thing at the Hydra lab. The scientists didn't get to see that on the video.
Yeah. Anybody have anything else they want to say about that second one?
I thought it was cool. I mean, I saw I saw something where it was like it was a pause of her in that outfit, and then they pause, I think, on her regular costume that she wears. Like the belt buckle looks the same. I saw something then. So yeah, that was really cool. I thought that was Loki's scepter, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. See, I love this show because I can learn as we go.
You already knew that.
Yeah.
You clearly already knew that.
Well,
Bravo, sir.
Thank you. My kids told me earlier.
So I think we can surmise from this that the Mind Stone gave her a huge boost in power.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we kind of knew that already going into the WandaVision. Because in fact, we thought it was her origin of power for the most part, or it just kind of. But this definitely gave her a huge, significant boost of power.
Right.
Yeah.
Any thoughts, Chris?
I mean, it just sets up that the connection. It shows us our real first connection back to what we've seen. You know, what she's wearing. We've seen that before in the movies, and now we get to the closure of that.
Yeah.
Tying it all together. Yeah.
I'm more confused though that this door that she walks out of the basement and now into the memories. There's a lot there that just I think it's too in depth. But there's the key look that's on the door. If you look at it, matches a little bit of that book. What's on the cover of the Book of Sins? I don't know.
Well, she was using a spell, so we can say that came from that book. That's why that door looked similar to that book of spells and stuff. Because she plucked her hair, just kind of like Doctor Strange did to Thor when he was he looking for Loki or Odin?
No, it was his dad.
His dad. He was looking for his dad. So Doctor Strange plucked his hair. Same thing with she did to Wanda. She plucked her hair and then used a spell, which I assume from that book because, like you said, those key circle things look very familiar. So it'd be just pointing out that it's from that arc of magic and stuff.
Before we move on to the third memory, do you guys want to talk about the runes that were trapping Wanda in the dungeon?
I thought it was kind of cool that it showed the fact that Wanda was never raised as a witch because Agatha was like, dude, how do you fall for this? This is like witch 101.
Right.
And she was really kind of introducing us to know the fact that Wanda is not like she's a witch and all, but she didn't come up through the same school that I did and stuff. Right. This is like 101. This is simple stuff, a simple spell.
David, you did mention something about runes earlier in our group chat.
Oh, I mentioned so much stuff. Throw stuff at the walls.
One of them looked like the exact House of M logo.
It did.
It did. Absolutely.
Was it that or was it Magneto's mask? I think it looked like an M, right? Or was that?
That was House of M.
Okay. You're just going to go right to Magneto. You're just going to go right there.
But David, didn't we talked a little bit earlier about maybe Wanda will use runes to possibly defeat her?
Yeah, I mean, I how funny would it be to prevent Agatha's magic by Wanda remembering that she cast runes, these spells on these runes. So, and right now the hex is this big, gigantic rune. So Wanda could be like, all of a sudden in the middle of battle, like Agatha's powers are gone, and it's like, what the hell happened?
That would be awesome.
She could say some clever line like, "Oh, it's just Magic 101. I cast runes outside the hex. What's up?"
Right.
I don't know. It's just I thought it'd be kind of funny if it ended that way. So, but
I think it would be too. Okay. Third memory. What are we looking at?
The Avengers campus, correct?
Yes.
The Avengers compound, yeah.
Yep.
Nope.
Yeah.
It's her and Vision.
Yeah,
you're right. I'm sorry. I'm thinking sword. I apologize. Yes, you're right. Avenger compound. Her and
just Vision Vision throughout this series has shown more humanity than I think just about anyone else. His line in this scene, what is grief if not love persevering? Oof. Bam.
That's that's strong.
That hit me actually pretty hard. I was like, man.
Did you guys see Agatha wipe a tear away?
Yeah, she felt it too. She wasn't acting. That was
yeah. There was just one out of the corner of her eye, one little tear there. But establishing that connection, and we see that connection again. If you remember in Endgame, I'm jumping ahead a little bit. But in Endgame, his line, and I have it written down here. I had it written down. Doggone it. It is here somewhere. Anyway, his line is that she could never hurt him. He only feels her, or something along those lines.
Yeah.
That was tough too. That was rough.
Yeah, and then when she goes in, she says, "You can never hurt me. I just feel you."
Right,
is what he says to her right before she takes out the Infinity Stone. And then when she goes into the sword base and sees Vision, she says, "I can't feel you."
Oof.
That one got me. That one.
Those two moments, man, more grief in this episode.
Oh yeah.
Than we've seen anywhere, which we had to see. It had to happen.
And their portrayal of grief is just like, it's spot on, and it was raw, and it was exactly what we needed to get. I mean, it was hard to watch, but we had to see it to understand what happens after, or in the fourth memory. To understand how that could happen, we had to understand the grief that Wanda was feeling.
Yeah. Now side note real quick, Elizabeth Olsen, I am a huge fan of her, obviously, yes, but I think her acting in this has been amazing. And it's
all of them.
It's progressively gotten better and better and better. I think Catherine Hahn was amazing in this episode too. The way they play off each other, and they better be some Emmys for some people.
Oh, I agree, 100%.
For sure. So, okay, carry on.
I mean, I feel the same way about Paul Bettany in that scene. I was just like, holy cow.
He just levels everything back out, brings it back to love is the focus.
Basically, the big thing that we learned from that third memory was that Vision is what is able to bring Wanda back. And Agatha recognized that. So then she knew exactly where to go for the fourth memory.
Right.
And she went to the sword base when Wanda is asking to see Vision's body. And then there's this, they don't want to let her in. It takes a long time to let her in.
Well, Hayward is all about letting her in, though.
But it took a long time. Yeah. It took a long time. They probably had Vision assembled and stuff.
That's what
and then had to break them apart.
I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right. I think they did that to mess with her. I think you're absolutely right.
Or it could be that he really, really wanted her irritated when she went in there.
Oh, yeah.
Because he was provoking her.
Oh, for 100%.
And the one part, though, she uses the magic to open up the door.
That was great. I got this. And she's like, forget it. So,
yeah.
This is what makes me think Hayward is absolutely something more than just a human. Because, one, that interaction, him egging her on, like he wasn't there comforting her whatsoever. He really was trying to kind of push as meanly kind of. He was being passive aggressive as he could be and stuff, and get her and the fact that he mentions like you can bring him back and stuff.
Right,
you're the only one and stuff, and then calling him a piece of equipment, like he's on the next of can. He's $3 billion worth of vibranium and stuff. All that kind of ties into the fact that he knew to use that drone with that chaos magic to reconstruct the Vision and stuff. No human being's going to piece that together like, oh, maybe I can use this drone magic for something.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
Something specific. So there's something. Oh, yeah.
So that's taking me back to Chthon because he's part of Wanda. Like him and Wanda are connected through their magic. So he would know that she could bring somebody back from the dead.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
And he's not crazy. Yeah. Wow. Okay.
He's not afraid of her.
Exactly.
And
at all.
And like I said before, maybe he knew that the grief would cause her to create this hex. And he needed that hex to be created for the Darkhold to appear.
Wow.
Not only that, if he also gets to destroy Wanda, he gets to possess her body and can come back as So there's all kinds of incentives for Chacon to really mess with Wanda and stuff.
Plus, what we got in that post credit is now he has a reason. So Wanda creating that hex gave him a reason to use his Sentinel weapon.
Yep.
He wouldn't have had a reason to use it had Wanda not created that hex.
Huh. Wow.
So I thought the sword-based thing was telling. It was sad as hell. I'm sorry that I agree with you guys. That scene where I can't feel you and watch and looking at like I'll be honest. Paul Bettany's great, amazing, award-winning actor and stuff. But the Vision in the Avengers series and stuff, for me, I wasn't attached. Like I had no feel. I'm gonna be honest. Like when he had the death scene with Thanos and stuff, it wasn't a big pivotal moment for me and stuff. But I really wasn't attached. Like I was with the other deaths of the other Avengers and stuff.
I think it's because we still partially see him as Jarvis.
Yeah. As a robot and as this kind of weird as we got to know him more in WandaVision, dude, the personality, I want to hang out with Vision. 100%. Vision is like the dude that I'm like, man, he's funny, he's caring, he's becoming this amazing human. I see him as a human in WandaVision more so than I did in the Avengers. Is my point. Watching that interaction with him and Wanda and the sword-based thing just kind of hurt. I was like, oh man,
but you can say the same thing about Wanda too. I mean, Wanda in the movies is just kind of. I mean, let's be honest, she's kind of like a B character in the movies. She's not a main port. And this is all her, and you see her development this whole thing as well too, which I think
agreed.
Yeah. So who put the note on the door on her seat?
I think it was there.
I think it was there.
Yeah, you think so?
I honestly, I don't have a reason not to think it was put there.
Okay.
I think
is the heart tie into the heart on the calendar in the episode, the beginning episode?
I think so. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that was the day that it was created. They woke up right in it. So the heart, she saw it was created, and then automatically they're there in that first scene, the day where the hearts have to come.
That deed turned into a calendar to fit in that time, and there was a heart around that date, which was the creation, and they mistook as dinner with the hearts and stuff.
Yeah.
So I agree. I think that deed turned into that calendar, and that's why the heart was there.
And then seeing, I mean, I love the car was the her color, well done, and then just going into that town and seeing the people.
And the town was kind of like ran down, and it wasn't really. It was kind of, you could obviously tell it was a back lot somewhere because it's total back lot. But the way it was. Okay.
I was like, that's East Coast. I think that's
all right.
That's the burbs and the East Coast.
It looked like Universal Studios to me. I'm not gonna lie, but anyway,
no, it did. It had this kind of dark dreariness to it.
Yeah, and everyone just seemed sad, and they were down.
Mrs. Hart by herself, Mr. Hart and stuff, and then we saw a bald-headed Herb walking across the street. And
you don't see
Norm
Dottie.
had a huge nose. A huge nose.
You don't see Dottie. Still,
no, you don't see Dottie.
Yeah,
you see the pizza, the mailman as the pizza delivery dude.
Yeah.
Like, man, you're a 40-year-old pizza delivery guy, which is nothing wrong with that if that's what you can do. And stuff.
I'm just amazed because all along, all of us are speculating who this guy is.
I agree.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, it just turns out he was a guy that was a pizza delivery guy.
Yep.
Since pizza wasn't being delivered back in the 50s, what would
Wait
a second. David had mentioned before he could have been a government employee put into witness protection program. We were asking about that.
Yeah.
What if his job, once he became part of the witness protection program, was to become a delivery driver that exact day that Wanda created the hex?
There you go.
Could be.
It's
Could
very
Then
possible.
is he the missing person for Jimmy?
He could very well be the missing person. We
be
don't
the
know
missing
who that is. At this point, I'm not positive we're going to find that out.
I don't think
I
we
don't
are.
either.
If
Yeah,
we only have 50 minutes or so,
Yeah.
that's the rumor.
Yeah, I saw that.
Is that it will be 50 minutes for the final episode? Who knows if that's true or not? That we haven't been able to.
I guess the
confirm that.
last 3 times that that site has put them out, they've been exactly right.
Yeah.
So someone's got some information. So
Yeah. So
Somebody's trying to lose their job.
right.
in 50 minutes, there's no way we're going to tie up all of these
Everything.
loose ends. Now, it doesn't mean that Marvel isn't going to eventually hit us with all that stuff, but I have a hard time believing we're going to find out who the pizza delivery or who the witness is in the last 50 minutes when there still has to be a giant battle with Vision versus Vision and, Wanda versus Agatha and Photon has to come
There's so
back
much.
in.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange has to come back in.
There's a lot.
Something has to happen with Peter, whatever we want to call him. There's way too much that has to happen.
Pietro. Yeah.
Pietro.
or
Pietro.
Poetro, whatever she called it.
Kid, you got.
So I'm gonna go out on a limb. I'm gonna put myself way on the outside of the boundaries here. I said it in the chat. I might as well say it to the audience and the world and stuff. I know Kevin Feige said there's no season 2 of WandaVision. But I also know that there are a bunch of trolls over there. I think Paul Bettany, the actor that he wanted to work with so darn much, was Mr. White Vision himself, which was Paul Bettany.
Yeah,
I think
Paul
that's
Bettany
hilarious.
teased Paul Bettany.
I loved it. I'm like, okay, you got me. I fell for that. But and who knows? Maybe we do get another one. But I think that was a very much of a troll move. I know Kevin Feige is very good at mincing words. I'm like, you need to pay attention to exactly what I said. There's no season 2 of WandaVision. There could very much be a limited version of the Scarlet Witch and stuff, just to kind of set things up even more. So next, I'm just saying, because it comes out, it has to come out, whatever it is, it has to come out before Doctor Strange, which is slated to come out in 2022 March, I believe.
Yeah.
So they could absolutely run in this very same time slot this time next year, not WandaVision because that's gone, but the Scarlet Witch.
Yeah.
There, I'm putting myself out there. You guys can have it.
There's a few ways they could go with that. It doesn't even have to be the Scarlet Witch. They can do something with Photon because she's there. It could be.
Yeah.
It could be maybe something with Vision. It could be something with the kids.
Could be Jimmy Woo. The Jimmy Woo and
could be
Darcy series.
The Jimmy Woo and Darcy
We're
series.
Dying for.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Or you can go by what Disney Plus UK said, and that there's 2 more episodes left. So there could be a 10th episode. I think there's not the option that's still out there. So
I don't know at this point. I'm open to everything at all. I just don't want them to rush 50 minutes to answer all.
That's what I'm saying. I think there's 2 more episodes.
So I'm gonna say something that David, you said in the beginning of Marvel Tribe when you guys started with WandaVision. That as a listener, I stood there and I said, "This man is exactly right." We're taking, let's say it's a half hour, right? And we've seen 8 episodes. That's a 4-hour movie that we've received of the Scarlet Witch and Photon and all of that. You would have went to the theater and sat for a 4-hour movie and accepted what we got. If they're going to give me 50 more minutes of it, I'm going to take that and be happy.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So where are we at?
We are the final memory where she gets the deed to the house, or where Vision was going to have a house built for them. Drives through Westview, the town of Westview. She stands in the plot where their house was going to be, and she breaks down, falls to her knees. She's sobbing, grabbing at her chest, and then all of a sudden we see the hex explode from inside of her and just spread. And we see Vision being created and just everything being fit into the hex.
Yes.
Great
all
scene.
of these thousands and thousands of spells and chaos magic just spewing out of this poor grieving girl and stuff.
Yeah. That was That was great. And I know Paul Bettany did say that. I mean, I saw some thing where they said that they've totally upped their CGI, for this episode because there's a lot of CGI. Paul Bettany said that the final battle has more CGI than Endgame. So I can't wait to see what comes out of that. So
I have a question that we have talked about several times. Given everything that we saw this week, is Wanda a bad guy?
No. I say no.
She's not bad. She's dangerous.
Yep.
She's not bad. She's just born that way.
Yeah. Unstable.
But she's not bad.
Just trapped. Excuse me. But
she's not evil. But
she just trapped all of these innocent people because of her grief.
No,
that's not okay.
Did she do that purposefully?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because she could have ended it when she figured it out.
I think that she is very much, if you're in a situation where you lose everything and it's given back to you, you're not going to question it too much. You're going to kind of go with the flow. And I think that's what happened. You have a situation where she didn't want to see reality. She wanted the gift that she was given. She didn't know if it was a dream. She didn't know what it was at first. She said several times, I don't know how this all started.
Yep.
So I think there are points where maybe she could have figured it out more. But again, that goes right back to her maybe not being the strongest person mentally.
Right.
That doesn't make her a bad person. It just means that
it makes her selfish. It makes her selfish.
For me, I agree with that to the point up until she left the Hex. And when she was faced with reality of the gravity of what was going on and everything else, at that point, because I get living in your fantasy. You're not sure what happened, how it happened. I'm just living and I have everything I want, and you're just going along with it. But at some point when reality hits, which for her, when she left the Hex.
For me, it was when Monica was there.
And she was confronted. Just the confrontation piece, she made a decision. That was a conscious decision to now I'm going to protect this, and I don't care if all these people are under trance or whatever. I don't care because it gives me back what I want, and so therefore that makes her dangerous. Bad, yes, she's operating under grief, but she is extremely dangerous because of that.
But did she know? Because at the end of the episode before Pietro shows up, she actually questions, do you think I'm doing all this? Do you think I am controlling everyone? And, when they go to the dentist or walk their dog or anything else, that was pretty convincing to me. I think that
she doesn't know. She's pulling the strings.
And that was after the timeout with Hayward.
How did she know exactly where to push Geraldine out?
Well,
how did she know that Geraldine did not belong there?
Well, she brought up her brother.
She brought up her brother.
Okay, but so that means Wanda knew that these other people were there because she wanted them there. Wanda was choosing who was going to be stuck there and who was not going to be stuck there from the moment that Geraldine entered the scene. From the moment she removed Geraldine.
When she falls down in the lot and is crying and explodes to form the Hex, that was a metaphor for I'm going to put myself in this bubble and protect myself.
Right.
Everything outside keeps being taken away from me and is not good. Right?
But I get what Sam and David are both saying. That makes her bad because she doesn't care about anyone else.
She trapped other people. She's being selfish.
And they're making me actually maybe change my train of thought because it is true. She actually makes that they are. David made a great point. I mean, think about that when she walked out and said, "Holy crap, I've caused all this," and turned that gun on, then they walked back inside. She said, "I'm in freaking total control, and I'm going to do whatever the hell I want." So
I think she's weak. I think that's different than being selfish.
She's so strong, she's weak. If that makes sense.
Yeah,
so
and a weak
mentally
person,
weak.
I didn't cut you off, Chris. I'm sorry.
Can a weak person be?
I'm sorry.
No, that remains the thing. Can a weak person be bad though? I mean, I think. I mean, we all know she's not evil. This isn't intentionally done, but we also know that the fact that once it's been revealed, what the pieces. Actually, let me just say it this way: once the pieces are starting to become revealed, not the whole puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
There's points of the reveal that you can make some decisions about, like, oh my God, what did I do? Or oh my God, what's happened? Right. And every one of those steps of those reveals, she did not turn back. She stuck. And yes, I agree with Bill. She is of weak mind and stuff. She's grieving and everything else. I don't think there's any malintent and stuff there. So, but she's dangerous.
You guys separate Wanda from the Scarlet Witch?
I did. I mean, actually, Bill started something. I loved that. I wish they went that route. Like, there was a split personality fighting. Like there was a Wanda, there was a Scarlet Witch who knew exactly what is going on, and she was trying to protect Wanda, who was this weak little girl who was grieving and stuff. I love that premise. Now, I wish that was the real premise.
So here's another thought that I have on this. Vision came to her and said, "These people are suffering." And my question for you guys is, she's supposed to be an Avenger. Is this acceptable behavior for an Avenger?
She's not supposed to be an Avenger.
Well, she has been. She has been.
Yeah.
So she's supposed to live by the principles.
At one point. No, I'm joking.
So she's supposed to live with the principles of being an Avenger. She's agreed to do that.
Don't even get me started on the Avengers right now.
Okay, but she has agreed to live by the principles of being an Avenger.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Vision came to her and said she is causing suffering in people.
You're making everything black and white when there are so many shades of gray here.
Yeah.
Because the gray shouldn't matter if you are the reason that people are suffering and you have the power to stop it and you are choosing not to.
Oof.
Because I'm not going to go kill somebody because I'm grieving and expect people to let me get away with it.
And if Peter Parker would have stopped the gunman, Uncle Ben would have made it. So,
see, what we have here is a classic Team Bill versus Team Sam, and they both make very compelling. Like, if we live in the gray, we have to kind of give a lot of credence to what Bill's saying, because there's a lot of grief, and when you have grief like that, there's blind spots that exist. But if we have to look at it from an audience who's watching this, we get to judge from a black and white perspective. Mm-hmm. We see the pieces and stuff, and we're like, dude, that's not the right decision to be making. Your husband, the person you love the most, is challenging you, like, hey, something is not right here, and you're purposely ignoring that and stuff. That's different than just. So I get. Bottom line is, I'm Team Sam. Sorry.
Well, I mean, and I totally get what Bill is saying, but my thing is, like, we haven't been delivered the gray. We've been delivered as an audience, like David said. We've seen the black and white, and we've seen where it's been brought to Wanda's attention.
Episode 8 was nothing but gray.
Yeah, but we're not in a sitcom anymore.
we were delivered an entire 46 minutes of gray this last week. That's what I'm basing that question on, is we saw a whole lot more as far as the reasoning behind all of that. Now,
but we knew all of that. We knew all of that going into this as a viewer. We knew Wanda's history. We knew all of it. There's nothing new that was revealed.
No.
They made us care in a way that we didn't care before. We talked about that earlier this hour, or this maybe it was an hour and a half ago.
So my question for you, Bill, is, if I were to go if I'm grieving right now and I am in this horrible pain and I go kidnap somebody right now, does that make me bad?
it makes you have done something bad. Does it make you bad? No, because
do I deserve to be punished for it?
That is a different question. I'm not asking if Wanda should be punished or not. She should be punished. She has to be punished. No matter what you do, if you're going to do something that hurts other people, you have to be punished for it. But I'm not convinced that she has done anything purposefully to hurt those
other
people.
than avoiding letting them go.
There's a huge difference between denial and just outright ignoring.
But at the point that it's brought to her attention, then you are ignoring. Because you can't claim denial anymore when somebody says you're hurting people.
What happened when that conversation was taking place? Pietro immediately shows up.
Well, no, she was kind of an a-hole and rolled the credits because she's like, I'm not having this conversation. I'm in control. Mm-hmm. So she shut him up.
But it still continued, didn't it? And what ended up happening when Vision started to get to her, immediately Pietro came in and shut that down.
Well, yeah, because he's Pietro. He was sent by Agatha.
But obviously he wasn't sent by, he wasn't created by her, so there is someone else behind all.
Well, Agatha admitted that she did that. She did a spell. Yeah. She did a spell to bring him. She said it wasn't necromancy.
But I get what Bill's saying. You know, she has the hurt and stuff, and she tries to end it. And like Sam says, she tries to end it, but then he's brought in to basically like be the comic relief and turn it back to be.
Yeah,
you know,
if it's ended right there, then Agatha doesn't get to find out what happened. Agatha does that. So it was Agatha all along. She prevented that from ending.
But we know Agatha is evil, but that doesn't mean that Wanda hasn't been bad.
I'm not saying she hasn't done things that are wrong. I am saying that when Vision started to get to her, when she started to kind of see things for the way they were, what happened? Agatha.
Okay, so then what about when she figured it out with Geraldine? And what about when she figured it out with the
what did she figure out with Geraldine? She figured out
she didn't belong there.
She said you're not welcome anymore.
Right.
So at that point, Wanda knew she had control over who was there and who was not.
She didn't necessarily exit her from.
Phil, we've got to stop this because we're going on 20 minutes of this argument.
You're assuming that she purposely removed her from the hex.
You both
don't know that to be the case.
I'm back on Team Bill now. So
well, shit, David.
Well, wait, hear me out because there is a moment of. I think if she purposely expelled her, she wouldn't have that moment of regret that we got to see across her face when she was looking through that empty wall and everything else and stuff. I think that was a reactionary, her casting her away versus a purposeful. And I'm just going off of what that scene you guys are talking about. If that moment at the end when she's rebuilding stuff and we didn't see that moment of like, what did I just do? I think there's that purposeful decision. I think an emotional action took place more so than I'm making a decision to just like face the truth. There could be some, and we can argue some denial there. I gotta say this. I'm loving this, and this was reminding me of my own personal Easter egg. I don't know if you guys watch It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, but there's a famous episode where they argue about the cereal defense, about whether or not, the person was sitting in his car, he was eating cereal, the stop sign, and someone hit him, and he spilt it, and who should pay for that? This argument makes compelling points, and the people who get to witness it are jumping from side to side. So that's all I'm saying. I'm torn about the cereal defenses. I'm going back and forth. I don't know.
I absolutely agree with you, man. I'm going back and forth. I'm like, Sam's right. No, Bill's right.
But Sam's right.
But Sam's right.
Sam makes it. Yeah.
And I'm just looking at Chris, going like, oh my god, I don't know. Maybe they're both right. I don't. It's.
And what's going through my head since Friday? You're telling me that Photon is still standing at the cellar door. all this is going on.
Chopping it up with Pietro, trying to figure some stuff out. So, yeah.
Pietro. I want to know what's going to come of Pietro.
There's so much that has to happen.
So here's the thing. You guys mentioned, you guys think she created Pietro or she controlled Pietro?
She controlled. I think we're going to see more about, where
Didn't she say it was a spell?
The spell was the eyes and mouth. You can see through him and talk.
And she said it wasn't necromancy. Yeah, she said it wasn't necromancy.
But I don't think she created Pietro. I think she controlled Pietro.
Yeah. I think we're going to see something that leads us to find out how Pietro or Peter got there in this last episode.
Right.
Yeah.
So one quick thing, David, you're going to have the exact number. I don't remember, but I remember when I started with comics.
42.
when the comics, you then, how long a couple of issues actually takes place, right? So if you read 6 issues, that really was a day and a half in the life of those characters, right? How long do you think that happened? Why I'm saying that Photon standing outside the cellar, cellar door, that half hour or 40-minute episode that we just watched, really, this all boils down to
probably like 2 hours.
It could have been a 2-hour.
I can't see it being that long, only from a standpoint of Vision was flying in on top of that. He left the van and he was flying there. That will not take very long. I'm guessing that all of the things that happened going back through her memory was pretty much instantaneous.
Yep,
I mean, we can probably look at it in real time of how long the episode took to happen.
Well, 44 minutes or 46 minutes. But
like, you saw all the memories, you saw their conversations, you saw everything that happened. So it's probably about episode length.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you're thinking about from episode 1, right, till we're now finding out
the whole story arc of this.
Like 3 or 4 days.
It could have been less than a week. I say less than a week. This all takes place.
Didn't they say 9 days ago the hex was created at one point in the I remember them saying 9 days ago. So it looks like we're probably on day 9 or 10 right now. Yeah. So it's somewhere right around there.
Well, did he say 9 days ago when he was talking to them before Monica, or when Monica first came back, when they were debriefing? He said 9 days then, didn't he?
Right. I don't remember exactly what it was.
So they're probably on like day 10 or 11 at this point. I would say probably probably 11 or 12. We're approaching 2 weeks.
Or 13.
Yeah. Approaching. You know what? Bill just wants to argue with me tonight.
All right. Well, last part was White Vision, right? And I will say,
well, the kids. Don't forget the kids.
The kids.
Oh, I'm sorry, the kids.
We already talked about that. Yeah.
Yeah. We see Agatha. Children. She's holding the kids by their little ropes that are made out of magic, and she calls her the Scarlet Witch, and she says that's chaos magic, and then it's done, and she's emphasizes chaos. So
I'm willing to venture a bet. We're gonna hear that's chaos magic, and then we're gonna hear the bass drop. Someone's gonna take that soundbite, and it's gonna live in memedom forever and stuff. Because I mean, that's a perfect setup. That's chaos magic, and then you hear the boom, boom, boom. Like that's. I'm this side note stuff, but didn't we have questions from our fans on our Facebook stuff that they wanted to?
Do we want to finish up? Do we want to finish up the wrap up, and then we can?
Yeah.
Let's finish up with White Vision, and then we can ask the questions, and we'll talk about a little bit about next week. And so, Chris, go ahead. White Vision.
I don't go searching around for the people that I'm here with tonight. These are the people that I trust and I believe. I don't go checking out all these leaks and rumors and all of that. Thursday night before the episode, I said, I just hope it doesn't become
Avengers West Coast. Yeah.
Where Shawn, I love you because you were like, nah, what's wrong with the West Coast?
Right. Well, that's where I'm from. So I'm like, what the hell?
I know. But I was talking about Vision.
And that's the first thing I thought when I watched it on Friday morning. I'm like, holy crap. Chris, this is what Chris was talking about. And I'm like looking around crap. I'm like, damn, this is what he didn't want. Is this bad or good?
During the battle next week, there's going to be a Vision on Vision battle. And if they don't play Foreigner's double vision for that. It is an opportunity. Oh. It is an opportunity missed.
Man, I mean, there's so many things. They can play Eye of the Tiger. They can, yes. Double vision definitely be more on the nose and stuff. I love that.
Yeah.
But yeah, the white vision is simply vision devoid of a personality. He's basically a robot that
he's
can
a
execute.
Weapon.
He's the black and white, basically. Everything he sees and initiates is black and white. There's no reasoning with him. So
I love the fact that it's Project Cataract that does that. Yep. And what does Cataract do? It clouds your vision.
Your vision. It clouds the vision.
And what do we see but a very cloudy colored vision at the end of the episode?
He has his pigmentation is completely like creamy white.
Even his eyeballs, they're cataract eyes. So.
And when he opened his eyes, it was creepy.
It was creepy.
The look on his face, and that says a whole lot about that Paul Bettany's acting as well. He didn't say anything, but by that one look in that 1 second, you kind of go, "Uh-oh, this guy's not good."
Yeah.
So there's going to be a vision on vision fight, and obviously one vision can survive. Maybe both visions will be destroyed, but can Wanda's vision ever leave the hex?
Well, can Wanda can Wanda somehow transplant her vision's personality into cloudy vision?
Cloudy vision. So I have a question for you guys. I was trying to understand something. So they build this other white vision, correct? Right. This is Hayward's big thing. He needs Wanda's power to power this thing up, correct?
Yep.
So couldn't Wanda's power just turn it off?
I mean, no.
You know what I'm saying? So was this whole thing created by Hayward just so Wanda would have to get so pissed off to do this, so he can get that power from Wanda just to create his ultimate weapon?
We don't know. We know that he tried to rebuild that vision a million times through his own standards, and we do know that he somehow magically thought to use that drone that was imbued with her magic to help power him. But we don't know if that information, like he knows something's up. So I think we'll get a reveal, but I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine, Shawn.
Okay, excuse me. Sorry.
All right, you guys ready to get into the questions?
Do you have them, Sam?
I do.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, so the first one was, what will happen to Agatha when she discovers the darkest parts of Wanda? So she's already discovered the darkest parts, but are we talking about what's going to happen when she tries to come for those dark parts? She tries to come for the chaos magic?
So I don't think we're going to see the end of Agatha. Even if she gets defeated, I think she'll flee. She's a survivalist.
And she can leave the hex because she came into the hex. I do have this theory. Where maybe them interacting and going kaboom with their magic is what tears the multiverse.
Yeah.
I like that. Two dark magic sources colliding and then giving birth to the rip in the multiverse and stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And perhaps the mutants.
Yes.
That I could see that the multiverse exploding could have an adverse effect to the people in it or the people near it or the people who have gone through more than once. Right. I don't know. We'll see.
I think they've created a great character with Catherine Hahn, and I think the fans love her, and I think she's going to be a big part of Phase 4. I think all along in the whole thing, people love her anyway, so I think she's going to be a big part of it, and it's a nice person to hang your hat on. I think for sure as a likable villain, if that makes sense, you know.
And a villain who isn't necessarily all villain, you know.
Right.
Certainly, I think that we're going to see more of that gray with her. You know, it's she's kind of like Loki in that regard. I think that
exactly.
It's what I've been saying about Agatha all along, though. I've been saying that she is like from the comics, like she didn't always side with Wanda. She was her mentor, but she didn't have a problem going against her when she needed to.
I'm not going to play the song. So
well, and think about yes, yeah, we don't want to get in trouble for that. But also think about how Doctor Strange became, the Sorcerer Supreme. He was playing with books he had no business with and stuff. But he didn't have a covenant to try to burn it, to destroy him at the stake and stuff. He had Wu and the Ancient One and stuff, who already knew his destiny. But he was playing with books he shouldn't be in, dark magic and everything else, just like Agatha. So she's not. I don't think she's totally an evil person in this realm and stuff.
She was kind of like a therapist. Helping Wanda. She was helping Wanda do some shadow work, which if you're going to be a witch, you got to do your shadow work so you know how to control your magic.
Yeah. So will we see Wong this week in addition to Doctor Strange? Is a question I have. But then on top of it, during the original Doctor Strange movie, Doctor Strange and Wong are talking about one point about magic and how there aren't any restrictions on what you can learn and when you can learn it. And early on, when they were back in Salem, we found out that Agatha's big crime was that she was trying to learn things that were above her level. So you kind of see what I'm supposing is the right way to teach magic and that kind of power, and the wrong way, not holding people back when they're capable of more. So it'll be cool to see if that's kind of touched on at all.
Chris, do you have anything you want to add to that question?
Now my head is thinking about Wong now, and I hope that Strange doesn't turn the time back and we just lose the hex and we're back in the beginning.
That would be awful. Ooh. Wow. I know. I don't want that. No, Chris, do not speak that into existence. Chris. Okay, next question. Why does Wanda act like she doesn't know she's the Scarlet Witch? And why does no one else in the MCU seem to know that she's the Scarlet Witch either? Like when they ask if she has any aliases and Jimmy Woo said no. None. Is it because the comic Wanda and the movie Wanda are different and the movie Wanda doesn't know she's the Scarlet Witch? Or because the creators just didn't add that in, knowing Wanda would have a spin-off show or movie where this would be revealed?
So that's a long... I think she didn't know she was the Scarlet Witch. I think she didn't even know she probably stopped the bomb until Agatha kind of revealed the baby witch scenario. Like you just put a probability hex and stuff. So she wasn't raised. Her parents weren't witches. Mm-hmm. She wasn't raised in the Covenant like Agatha. So I really think nobody they knew she had powers, but they didn't know she was a witch, including herself. So.
They thought that her powers came from that interaction at Hydra.
Stone. Yeah. Yep, with the Soul Stone.
So they didn't call her a witch. She was just
an experimented advanced human.
Yeah.
I think it is very funny that everyone knows that she is a Scarlet Witch, but until this point, no one's actually said. I think that is just it's true. It blows my mind actually. So,
but we have to assume. Sorry, Chris. I was going to say we have to assume that everybody in the MCU has never heard her referred to as the Scarlet Witch.
No, they haven't.
Yeah, so that's what I'm trying to tell Shawn is that like we have to assume that she hasn't because they haven't read the comics like we have.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. All they're basing that on is what Hayward said and Jimmy Woo said. Does she have any known aliases? Does she have any?
I know where Chris is about to go. Please say it, Chris, because you just put something in. I heard your hesitation, and it just popped into my head.
You have no idea how dangerous you are. You're supposed to be a myth. That's what Agatha says to Wanda.
She does. She says, "You're a myth. You're the Scarlet Witch."
Yes. Yeah. Being capable of spontaneity.
So maybe it's because Agatha has the Darkhold and she has read about the Scarlet Witch because Shawn has written about the Scarlet Witch and how he transferred powers
the myth
in the Darkhold.
Chiffon. That's like the topping of like icing and stuff like that. Chiffon cream.
Chiffon? What is it?
Chiffon. Shethone. So
Shethone, sorry.
Yeah. The myth is of the witch covenant of the witches. That she is a myth in that lore and stuff. And witches aren't really known in practice. They're not big guys or bad guys in the Marvel universe at this point in time. I mean, we went through this whole 11-year and nobody. I mean, so it makes sense. No one would know about the Scarlet Witch, but a witch, which we just
and someone who has the Darkhold, where whatever his name is wrote about all of his magical workings, hence
Hayward,
transferring it to an infant child. So Agatha has the Darkhold. She would have read that in the Darkhold.
Now, I do have to say this. I think if Doctor Strange, because Doctor Strange and Wanda haven't really interacted. I was trying to think outside of the battle and Endgame, they have not interacted. So I think if they spent more time together, he would have actually sourced her magic and stuff and figured out she's a Scarlet Witch.
I agree. I have the giggle fits right now. Okay, you guys ready for the last question I have?
Sure.
Why does Agatha have a pet rabbit in WandaVision and not her black cat Ebony like she does in the comics? If Ebony can turn into a panther in the comics, and aside from eating birds, it doesn't appear that Senor Scratchy can shapeshift.
Because Warner Brothers own black cats. That's my answer. I'm sticking to it. Next.
Right.
Isn't that supposedly? Are we going to find out? Do you think that it's her son? And
oh, I'd be so happy.
I think that's going to happen.
Somewhere. I don't know if we're going to. I mean, there's too much in 50 minutes.
I'm telling you, there's 2 episodes left. That's why you watch.
Well, she didn't always have a good relationship with her son. So maybe for a comic ending, they could be like she dies or something, and then he pops out of his body, and he's like, "Oh, thank God, she's had me trapped in there forever, feeding me damn birds."
Oh yeah, they try to kill each other in the comics.
They do, yeah. So they don't have a good relationship. So maybe she's got him trapped in that rabbit.
Turned me into a bunny. I go, yeah.
So the bug's obviously not Nightmare because he got eaten. So we know that, right?
You know nothing.
Okay, we
can't assume anything at this point.
True.
We just have speculation. We don't even have theories anymore because they keep getting blasted out of the water.
We can't assume that we've talked about this show for an hour and 40 minutes now. We can't assume that.
Are you guys ready to do final theories about what we expect?
Chris, were you going to say something, buddy? I'm sorry. Go ahead. Before I cut you off.
Where's Ralph?
With Dottie. Where the hell's Dottie and Ralph?
Again, the last 50-minute episode, they have all these questions to tie up.
It's just going to be a "Where Are They Now" episode. We're all going to be so let down because it's not even going to be. It's like all right, well, 6 months since this happened. Let's find out where they are now.
It turns into the Masked Singer episode.
I do want to say this. Everyone had a big criticism of the last Star Wars movie, that they did too much in a short amount of time to tie everything up. I hope they don't do this here and try to do all of this, like you said, Bill, in 50 minutes. I think that will not put a justice to this at all. So that's why it's going to go on outside this into the other movies, I believe.
Kevin Feige's smarter than that.
I think Marvel's pretty good about reading the tea leaves. They look at stuff and what worked and what haven't, and they make adjustments. I mean, we saw it with Thor Dark World to Thor Ragnarok and stuff. I mean,
that's why they gave us this in small doses instead of a big all at once, because they wanted us to fiend for it and they want it to be in the conversation in the media for longer. So now they just went from a 2-week spread of, hey, everybody just binged it on Netflix or everybody just binged it on Disney Plus because they released it all at once, to now we are on at least 10 weeks talking about it, and people who are just starting it. I just talked to somebody right now who just started it. So, they've got a few more weeks out of it.
And so a genius in the aspect of how many, if it was one all released at the same time, how many rewatches would they have gotten? Nowhere near
Agreed.
The number that they're getting by releasing one episode a week. It's a genius move on their part.
I mean, looking at the 5 of us on the screen, they probably got 30 rewatches a week.
Oh, yeah.
Just from
of course. So, like Sam said, I think we should maybe try to wrap it up. And I just want to go around real quick. Bill, What are you hoping to see next week? What do you want to get out of this?
I want to see Doctor Strange come in.
Mm-hmm.
I want him to do whatever he can to lead Wanda down the right path. I want to see an epic vision on vision battle. I would love to see more of the Avengers show up. My guess is we're going to get Wong and Doctor Strange.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we'll see anyone else, but somehow, some way, they're going to have to finish this up. We saw not really a clip, but we saw the picture of Vision with Wanda and the boys, and they're kind of in their fight pose.
They're
ready,
like the Incredibles. Did you see that comparison to the Incredibles? They're all getting ready to fight. So I think that's going to be great. Yeah. How about you, Chris? What are you hoping to see from this last episode, if it's the last episode?
So on the top level, the end credit is a whole nother episode. No, I want to see Doctor Strange come in for the tie-in. I would like to see. For me, my biggest thing is tying up all the questions. As much as I want to see the fight and all of that, tie up the questions and don't leave me with. You gave me Photon, now give me Photon. Don't give me
exactly just where are we going from it? Yep.
And then if the end credit just ends with, in my head, they're in New Jersey, and my man Spider-Man comes over from New York to say what's going on.
Yep.
Yeah.
How about you, David?
All right. I want to see a Fantastic Four reference. I want to see Doctor Strange. I want to see this epic battle. I've been waiting for this from episode 1. I really the Vision on Vision, dude. Yeah. I can't wait for that fight. I know it's coming. They have to throw down and stuff. So I can't wait to see that with my double vision.
Vision on Vision action.
I would like to see.
Vision.
Oh my god! I want to see, and then I want to see Monica use her actual powers and stuff. I want to see some stuff from Photon here and stuff, and tell me who the hell Dottie is. Just don't play with. I'm already disappointed about the mailman.
Right.
I just want to know. Don't disappoint me with Dottie. So
I saved you for last, Sam, because I know you're waving your fingers and putting your hand over your mouth. You're so excited.
Because I'm thinking a million things.
You want me to say what I want first before
Go ahead. Yeah, sure.
I told you guys before we came on, I saw this TikTok this morning, and it's this lady. She's pissed off that the Avengers have not became part of this all, and then that's been stuck in my head all day. Why, if Wanda is an Avenger, or is she? According to Sam, we're not sure because she's not acting like one. But you're actually changing my mind. So great job on that. So, but I want to see the same kind of battle that they had in Endgame. I want to see them all. I want to see Doctor Strange do his twirly thing. They all come through the thing, and here's everybody. Here's Captain Marvel and everybody coming to help their buddy Wanda. But it's probably not going to happen. But yeah, and I do want to know who the hell Dottie is. They talk about Ralph the whole time. Maybe Ralph is the freaking bunny. We have no idea. Where Ralph. I have no idea. Oof. I'm so confused.
Maybe Ralph isn't real, and she just said that so she didn't seem like a deranged housewife.
You can't say it that many times, to not for it not to mean something. For her to keep bringing up Ralph.
Maybe Ralph owns. Ralph could be the actual real neighbor in real life.
She has him tied up somewhere.
And she stole his house,
or she turned him into a bird and fed him to her bunny.
Oh. Okay, Sam.
You said something that all of the Avengers coming through Doctor Strange's portal. And what hit me really hard in that was I believe a lot of this was filmed well before COVID and all of that. What if we see Black Panther?
Oh, geez. Come on, dude.
Dude, I would lose my mind.
Oh,
yeah, me
I would
too.
start sobbing.
Yeah. Oh my God.
But when you said
from,
that's where I went because it was Wakanda that all of that happened in.
That's where how'd they go get him from Wakanda? So, yeah, thanks. Now you gave me chills.
I would lose
Seriously, you gave me.
I just had chills go down my spine and like
Bill.
tears in my
That would
eyes.
be amazing.
Yes, it would be amazing.
And if that's and that could be the cameo that no one would expect.
Yeah.
Holy crap!
Thanks, Bill.
Damn it! Now I want the Avengers.
Bill. Damn.
I thought Python was going to be the heart attack for the week, but now I got to deal with this.
So, I know that. I know, Shawn, you're saying that lady was mad and stuff, but I'll say this: she mad about Far From Home with Spider-Man because he was on his own out there with that and stuff.
That's true too.
I really don't.
Point.
And
Very good point.
you and I both know, like, you don't want the whole Nick Fury and Todd Holland conversation about where are the Avengers and him having to make some lame excuse and stuff.
I have the excuse. You want my excuse for them?
Yes.
This is all happening in a 2-week time frame, and Sword is supposed to be handling it. The Avengers probably don't even know about it.
How could they not know about this? She's still one of them.
Tony Stark just died.
The blip just happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're still trying to figure their lives out post blip.
Vision was their friend, and if they think this shit's happening with Vision, and
why would they think that Vision's dead?
But they
Vision's
wouldn't know.
Vision's dead. Tony's dead. Cap's back to being.
We're talking a matter of days and stuff. Like,
all right, fine. I still want to see Captain Marvel show up and fight with Monica Rambeau. I think that'd be cool.
It would be cool. So,
but damn, Bill, that Black Panther thing. Shit.
I know,
dude. I would love that. I would trade everything for that.
Oh,
yep. Same.
Oh.
All right, you ready for me?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, go ahead. I just damn.
Okay, so Shithone, whatever the hell his name is, I want to see. I already have the giggles. Please stop. Okay, so I want to know who the hell Hayward is. I want that revealed. I want to know why Hayward provoked Wanda the way he did, what he gained from this happening. I want to know the deal with Hayward. I kind of want to see Wanda and Agatha start fighting each other, cause the tear in the multiverse, and then have to fight Hayward together.
Oh. Okay.
Because he's a big bad who wants to end them both because he wants the Darkhold. So maybe then she can be her mentor and she can stay in the MCU. And the tear in the multiverse, maybe we get Doctor Strange. I would like that. And if there's a tear in the multiverse, can we have Avengers from other dimensions come? I know it's a huge stretch, and I know this isn't going to happen, but that's what I want to happen.
And that's exactly what we were asking.
Then I want Nick Scratch, but I want it to be the Nick Scratch from Sabrina because I really like to look at him.
Fair enough.
Hey, if we get Tobey Maguire, anything's possible.
So does anyone have anything else they want to add to this week's episode, The Marvel Tribe?
Oh, this was long, but I loved it.
It was great. I think next week's gonna be even longer, and we're gonna be live for that one. That's gonna be. I think that's gonna be even longer.
Any chance we can start earlier next week?
I will try to. Yeah,
is that a possibility?
I will. Yeah, I will figure that out. If you guys are all good with that, I'll just. Yeah, we'll figure that out. Because I know that but Bill and Chris are on East Coast time. It's almost midnight where you are, so I'm sorry about that.
It's all good.
So, Bill, since we're talking to you, tell us about Airbnb podcast.
Well, Airbnb Disney podcast. We have a live every Thursday night at 8 p.m. on Facebook. You can find us on Apple Podcasts and Amazon and all of the places where podcasts are available. It's just two idiot guys talking about Disney.
Perfect. Make sure you listen to them on Thursdays. How about you, Chris? Tell us about Disney Done Differently.
Sure. Disney Done Differently. Every Wednesday, new episode comes out on YouTube. There's a Facebook page, same name. And I appreciate being accepted into this tribe. It's been very, very educational, and I don't have to talk to myself anymore.
How about you, David? Where can we find you, buddy?
You can find me on the good old Google. check me out.
Just
The
look
Blurred
up
Hulk.
The Blurred Hulk. Just look him up.
Blurred
Sam,
Hulk,
how about you?
Everywhere you can find me, because I'm a lot of places.
Whatever you want to talk about.
Okay, so I am with you guys at your lives on Wednesday nights, Walt's Apartment, Extra Magic Hour, Marvel Tribe, and then DisIology podcast. And then you can find me on all social media as Samantha Moldecki.
All right. And you can find me, just look up waltapt.com, because I'm not going to name everything that I'm a part of or that I do. So
well, you don't want to be like me.
No. Well, I think I do everything you do except one thing. So, I mean, and I'm not a host on DisIology, so that's okay. But that's
you want to be?
No.
It sounds like you want to be.
No, but seriously, this was an hour and 50 minutes long. Thank you guys so much. Again, for someone that doesn't understand this stuff, you guys make it so much easier in our conversations to understand this stuff, to help me understand. I appreciate all of you. From all of us here at the Marvel Tribe, I hope you have a great week and enjoy the last episode of WandaVision. Good night.
Good night.
Or is it the last episode?